Peter Matthews is a professor of political science at Cypress College. He joins us now from Los Angeles. Okay, so Peter, just as a reminder, this is what the president said about Vice President Joe Biden, the comments which have sparked the outrage. Here he is.
Kim Jong-un made a statement that Joe Biden is a low IQ individual. He probably is, based on his record. I think I agree with him on that.
In Trumpian terms, it was pretty mild, I guess, but when national leaders travel overseas, many make this choice to leave politics at home, domestic politics at home. But this attack on Biden, it wasn't just a break in tradition. Once again, we have a US president on the world stage showing his support behind an autocrat leader. It was very similar to what happened at the Helsinki summit.
Yeah, actually, the difference of opinion on domestic policy is to be left alone. Even personalities such as Biden's attacking him should be left alone at the border. And yet Trump is not only going against that tradition, but he's actually worshiping these authoritarian leaders like Kim Jong-un and Putin. And I believe you have to go back to Hannah Arendt, the great philosopher, who said that lies are far more believable than truth in many cases, because the liar, the authoritarian leader who likes to lie, he knows what the audience wants to hear and he tells it to them. And Trump is exhibiting so much of those kind of characteristics right now.
What are the implications, though? I mean, because it's sort of just given that the presidents leave domestic politics at home, but why? I mean, what are the implications of continuing these attacks overseas?
First of all, the attacks such as that anywhere should not be a good part of the discourse of politics. Because how can you really get to the truth of what the issues are and what people believe in and what they'd like to have realized in policy? You can't. When people lie and when people attack each other ad hominem, it takes away the seriousness of the actual public issue and issues. That's what Trump's all about right now. It's very, very dangerous what's going on, especially when it's overseas like that with the dictator.
Last week, after vowing not to work with Democrats while congressional investigations were underway, well, score another one for House Speaker Nancy Pelosi because President Trump apparently is backing down. Here he is.
I think that we will work with them, certainly as things get approved. I would love to sign them. It's only good for our country. I'm only interested in what's good for our country.
It seems to suggest that petulance as a policy maybe isn't the best approach.
Yeah, petulance is what children have, basically, and he's acting very childlike at times, responding reactively and emotionally and unbelievably irrationally, and that's what he did. He showed that, now he's changing his mind and saying, now I'm going to work with them. First, he was not going to work with them. It's a threat. As long as they investigate me, I'm not working with them. And yet the Congress's duty is to investigate the president when it needs to be done. So he's acting childlike. That's what petulance is about. It's a very bad basis of policy making.
Interesting, though, is that just after he made those comments whilst he was in China, he actually, a couple of hours later, he came out with a tweet criticizing the Democrats, saying the Dems are getting nothing done in Congress. They only want a do-over on Mueller. It's this whiplash approach that begs the question, what's the point? Is there a strategy here? One moment you can work with them, the next moment they're not doing anything, they just want to do over. Where's it heading?
I don't think there's a strategy here. Some people read into it and say he's very sophisticated, knows what he's doing, it's a game plan, it's a chess game. I don't buy any of that stuff. If you look at the overall results of this presidency and how debasing and demeaning and lack of accomplishments it's been, and the lies about the Democrats. They've actually put out policy one after the other since January when they took office, specifically, and they passed it through their Democratic-led House, and he's basically lying about that too. So I don't think there's any grand strategy here at all. This is a person who's, I think, is beyond his league in some ways, and being the president. It's a very difficult job.
Well, there does seem to be
qualified.
Sorry about that. There does seem to be a strategy, at least on the Democrat side, at least when it comes to impeachment. And Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib says there is consensus now building among Democrats towards impeachment. This is what she said.
This is not about the 2020 elections. It's about doing what's right now for our country. This is going to be a precedent that we set when we don't hold this president accountable to the rule of law and to the United States Constitution. I think it is moving towards that. It's going to demand it. It already is.
When you go up to the king, you get one shot. And it seems for a while the Democrats were overthinking this question of impeachment, whether it was right, whether it was wrong, what the politics were, would there be blowback? Now it seems maybe they put that to one side, possibly.
I believe they have, and they should have. It's about time, because this is about the Constitution, about our way of political life. And Congressman Tlaib is absolutely right that it's time now to move forward with the impeachment inquiry. And there is a momentum. There are at least 35 Democrats who have spoken out publicly saying we have to start the inquiry now, and they give evidence for it. And don't forget the Mueller report. There's a huge amount of evidence the president obstructed justice. When he tried to get a hold of Attorney General Sessions and tell him to unrecuse himself so he could control the investigation. That was a corrupt intent, And the other thing is getting Don McGahn to try to get Mueller fired. That's direct obstruction, and there's so many other instances of evidence of that in the Mueller report. So I think Congresswoman Tlaib is absolutely correct, and many people are going to be starting to look at this carefully and maybe joining her. And don't forget, a Republican congressman also called for it. Congresswoman Amash called for it the other day for impeachment inquiry. That's quite remarkable.
Peter, good to see you. Thank you.
You too, John. Take care.